Yeah, so my name is Boro. I mean, yeah, my name is Boro, and as you can see, I'm an NFT and I talk. I talk. Yeah, you can see me here.
Welcome to the metaverse.
Yeah, thanks, brothers. So yeah, I look like a bird because seagull is like the signature bird of Busan. You know, Busan is like the second biggest capital in Korea, so like second largest by population, and Busan is like the regulation-free zone in Asia. So that's why a lot of crypto companies are getting more to Busan, and it's quite remarkable that the city itself is hosting an NFT conference. You know how like all the Asian cultures and government are really super conservative and censored, but hosting an NFT event is really remarkable in history. So it was remarkable enough that Vitalik gave us a mention in his like, what was it, daily log or monthly log? So yeah, my name is Boro and I'm a C. I represent Busan and I'm the MC of this NFT Busan 2021. And yeah, I think we can start the session right away. So this session is KryptoSeoul X NFT Busan. It's about interoperability. How do you pronounce it?
Interoperability.
Scalability.
Yes, the NFT is not functioning right now. Okay.
Oh, that's a long word. Yeah. So this session is conducted in English. So 한국 팬분들께 한마디 부탁드리고 저는 그러면 마이크를 에리카님께 넘겨드리겠습니다.
네, 부들님 감사합니다. 네, NFT가 약간 작동을 안 했나 봐요. 말이 약간. 네, 저는 크립토서울 대표 에리카이고요. 이 세션은 이제 원래 크립토서울이 같이 이제 스페셜 세션으로 이제 만들기로 해서 제가 좀 제 아는 뭐 정말 좋은 플랫폼에 계신 분들, NFT 쪽으로 활발하게 활동하고 계신 분들을 이제 불러서 급하게 이렇게 딱 결성하게 됐는데 너무 좋은 분들이 많이 오셨어요. 그래서 꼭 들어주시길 바라고 제가 영어로 하지만 또 이제 한글 자막도 들어갈 예정이니 나중에 꼭 이제 편하게 봐주시길 바라겠습니다. 네. Then let's begin the panel. So hi, my name is Erica from KryptoSeoul and I'm the moderator for this panel for NFT Busan. So thanks so much guys for coming in at such last notice. I am very grateful and yeah, thanks. Let's go around and formally say hi to everybody in the audience. So why don't we start with Mike, who is first in the room?
Hello. Hi, my name is Michael. I am CEO and founder of a company called Pylons, which is an NFT blockchain in the Cosmos ecosystem. And I'm also director of NFTs at Tendermint, which is one of the leading development companies of the Cosmos SDK and the Cosmos Hub community. So yeah, I'm super excited to be here, and thanks, Erica, for inviting me.
Thank you so much. Wow, what a large job, so many jobs that you're doing, but yeah, thanks so much for coming. Yeah, next, Vincent, would you like to go and say hi?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Vincent, and I'm on the ecosystem growth team at Parity. Right now, right now I'm focused on Polkadot adoption primarily, working with teams that are interested in Polkadot. So Polkadot is sharded blockchain protocol that allows arbitrary data to be transferred across blockchains. So a bit about Polkadot.
Thanks so much, Vincent. Matt, you're here. Hi. We just to say hi.
Hey everyone, my name is Matt. I spent 1.5 years working at Near Protocol on the wallet and developer relations team. And I've now spun out with 3 other co-founders from Near to start Satori, which is basically taking NFTs mainstream, starting with Near and then eventually moving to cross-chain.
Thanks so much for being here. Big fan of Matt and what he's working on. And yeah, what a builder. So yeah, thanks for being here. And last but not least, yeah, sure. I don't know. I might like butcher the name. Like, can you pronounce it properly?
Yes,
Sorry
yeah.
about that.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shreyansh. I am head of Polygon Studios. Polygon Studios is Polygon's NFT and gaming arm, which major focus is to drive adoption, I would say, be the bridge between Web 2 and Web 3 and bring mass adoption by NFTs and gaming towards the space. And it also has a $100 million fund.
Wow.
Great to see all of you.
Yeah, there's so much going on in Polygon ecosystem. I think many people in Korea are very familiar with Polygon as well. So yeah, I mean, like, to be honest, like, I think the 4 panelists are so well balanced right now. We have like everyone from every major ecosystem that is building NFT ecosystem. So this is great. And thank you so much again. So yeah, let's kind of go in like kind of with the basics. Like, what do you work on for the growth of the NFT ecosystem? Because like, I think it's like, I think people don't realize what you guys have to do in order to kind of like integrate like the NFT ecosystem into the existing platforms that you are already building, or like you're creating a new one. So I'm just curious, like, what you're currently working on in specific, and how has the ecosystem been evolving in the platform that you're working on? So yeah, just kind of, who wants to go first? So we could go in the original order.
I guess I'll go.
All right.
Awesome. Cool. What have I been working on that, to mainstream NFTs? So there's sort of 2 big things from my perspective that I've been working on, and they both come down to user experience. I think that right now the user experience in Web3 is like a total trash. It's incredibly bad. And I think that like a lot of people who spend a lot of time in Web3 like start to justify it a little bit, but it's unjustifiably bad. And so there's sort of 2 pieces of that I'm working on. The first one is sort of the end users experience. And to that end, we've put a lot of effort into removing gas fees from our network and replacing the fee system with a commission structure directly on payments, so that allows us to have free transactions on the network, truly free transactions at the network level, in order to have like a free-to-play economy, right? So if you really want to build a free-to-play game, you can just build a free-to-play game and it's fine, right? And because free-to-play is so much of the revenue of mobile gaming, this was something that to me was like just an absolute requirement for me as a platform, and there has to be a way to build a free-to-play game that's really free-to-play. I can't require users to have to go buy a token before they can play a game. So that was like a huge lift and something that we're working on, and is definitely a difference. And then the other piece is at the developer SDK. So we've put a lot of time into building a Flutter SDK so that developers can build a Flutter app, like a game in Flutter, and wire it up to our wallet and just have the Flutter SDK like do this recipe, do this recipe, do this. So you don't ever have to do any smart contract programming to build a blockchain app on Pylons. You just have to sort of build a state machine with like inputs and outputs, and then you can just call those transactions directly in your Flutter app. And this is because there's, the number of developers that know Flutter is a lot bigger than the number of developers that will ever learn a smart contracting language. And smart contracting language is sort of fundamentally, like right now, it seems like they're fundamentally problematic. A lot of people lose money all the time. And like, I just think that's just in the nature of the language. It just doesn't take care of you. And it isn't gonna work. It isn't gonna fly for like the broader world to be in a place where like, if you like mess up a closure and like a variable scope is like not quite what you thought, that like you can lose $200 million. Like that's just like, that's not going to be how it is. We're going to find another way. And so one of the things I've built is this sort of like very simple system to let Flutter developers do blockchain transactions in ways that are much simpler. So that's sort of what I'm working on: developer experience and user experience, and just generally making the experience of interacting with this technology like, if 3 is a bigger number than 2, and my understanding is that it is, then like Web3 should be better than Web2. And right now, from an experience perspective, it is not. So we have to be like, cool, like it has to be at least as good to use as Web2, both from the developer side and from the user side. That's my intro.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, you touched upon some very major topics, but we'll kind of talk more later about that. But yeah, thanks so much. Vincent?
Sure. Yeah. So before I explain what I'm doing, it might be useful to explain a bit about Polkadot first for those who aren't sure with the tech. So Polkadot, as I mentioned, is a sharded blockchain protocol, and it's built to connect and secure blockchains. Polkadot uses a sharded model, and these shards are called parachains, and these parachains allow transactions to be processed in parallel instead of sequentially. Now, Polkadot itself is built using Substrate, which is framework for creating cryptocurrencies and blockchains, and it can be used to create a blockchain in just a few minutes if you're using Substrate. Sorry. did someone just say something?
That was just an echo.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So at Parity, I'm working on Polkadot as well as our Canary network, Kasama. And we would like to bring more projects on, and not just NFT related, even though NFT is something that I'm focusing on, onto our ecosystem. And Polkadot is a great ecosystem for NFTs. And with the recent NFT hype, there are around 30 projects right now that are building on projects like related on our blockchains, or they're either NFT project blockchains, or they utilize some sort of like gaming and metaverse style projects on Polkadot or Substrate. So substantially more than the beginning of the year, and there are a lot of blockchains right now that support NFT, but not a lot of them require either high transaction fees. So just this point was mentioned by Mike earlier, they require a lot of transaction fees, or makes it harder for NFTs to aggregate liquidity. So on our Canary network, Kasama, you could basically mint NFT tokens, and the transaction fees are extremely low. This allows more users, they can create and transact NFTs on our network, and we've been having more parachains auctions on Kasama. We currently have around 13, and more projects are coming on board the Kasama network. So the interoperability and the network effects would increase to provide even more synergy to everyone in the entire system. As we have, we also have a lot of bridges to connect to popular NFT blockchains like Ethereum, and there are many other blockchains that are also directly built on Polkadot and Kasama ecosystem as parachains. So there are multiple ways to connect to the Polkadot ecosystem, and you can use bridges, or you can just like build a parachain or on like our ecosystem. So that's what I've been working on.
Great, thanks, Matt.
Sure, yeah. So just recentering on that question, taking NFTs mainstream, some specifics we're working on. One thing I wanted to shout out is Near Protocol. The wallet is incredibly simple. It's a web-based wallet, and you can of course connect a ledger and do all this other stuff. But the fact that it's web-based means there's nothing to install. So no extensions, no apps, you don't have to kind of like take a bunch of extra steps to get involved. That's allowed us to basically deliver things like NFTs and account creation by just sending people a link. So they click a link and they immediately get into a nice white label customized flow that allows them to set up a wallet and claim an NFT. The second thing I'm working on, of course, is my project, Satori. Much like what Mike was saying about developing like a Flutter SDK or API, we're developing an API for Web2 developers, where they won't have to write their own smart contracts to create NFTs. They'll simply just hit our Web2 API. They're in full custody of the contracts that they deploy, and basically the NFTs that they set up and they're distributing. But they're also giving us additional permission to basically do the distribution for them. So what's cool about Near's account model is that you can actually have multiple keys on a single account. So you could think of Near's account model as basically taking the best from ENS, the Ethereum naming service. So we have human readable account names, Gnosis Safe, so you can have multiple kind of keys for a single account, and rolling all of that into the main protocol. So that's allowed us to create a cool non-custodial Web2 friendly API for developers. And then of course, users, all they experience is they just get a link in their email and they claim their NFT. So it's really helping to kind of like wrap people's heads around just how easy it can be. And then when the users receive the NFT, it's also non-custodial. So, we're able to kind of deliver that same familiar Web2 experience as you would sort of buy crypto on Coinbase, but we're non-custodial. So that's really what we're striving for, and that's what we're building at Satori.
Thanks so much. Yeah, I mean, these are some important developments, and I think you guys are really in the bridge between, like, I guess, like the NFT, like meaning like the arts and the games and kind of kind of the practical use cases, and then also the blockchain like platform itself. So kind of like bridging the gap between like those two. So it's a very important job that you guys are doing. So very excited this is very exciting to hear your explanations. Yeah, thanks so much, Matt. Yay. Last but not least, of course, Shreyansh, can you tell me about the Polygon ecosystem, how it's growing? I mean, it's already like kind of blowing up as well, but yeah, can you tell us more?
Yeah, definitely. And I think I would start maybe by Polygon Studios. So Polygon
Sure.
Studios, actually, we launched Polygon Studios a few months back. So it was, I would say, like a dedicated effort towards gaming NFTs, and we've been already doing pretty well on the side. But we thought, okay, now the mainstream adoption is already in, and gaming is something that we always saw like is sustainable and will be, I think, like the biggest thing in the coming few years. And like people say, like 100 million user gaming will bring the next 100 million users. And Axie has already like proven in some extent, like everyone talks about Axie. So we launched Polygon Studios, and in some way, the vision is also like getting all the Web2 major folks. So we are, instead of the tech as well, people are still, they have that sort of mental baggage. How to get into NFTs? It sounds cool, but how to get in and how to integrate these play to earn models and pretty much with everything. So it's more like hand holding with everything, because they have legal issues, how to target the legal ramifications and regulations, everything. And the tech comes, they feel like, okay, tech is there, we know you have proven that, but how do we implement NFTs and manage the crypto regulations and all these things and integrate play to earn, or maybe we can do it in another new game, or we can do it in the current game, or maybe we are working with some fashion brands as well. Like we recently partnered with Dolce & Gabbana, so those NFTs went really well. Like 6 NFTs sold around $6.5 million. So now lots of fashion brands are also asking how to do this, how to integrate this, how can you support us? So in that way, like bridging this gap by, I would say, on the mental side as well, like on the business side and these things, and holding them pretty much everything. And there are so many teams outreaching to us now, because they want support on the funding side as well, who want to explore NFTs, create games. I think that's the whole vision for Polygon Studios. And on the tech side, I think we are lots of major news coming in, will be coming in the rolling out in the next few months. One would be major thing like Polygon SDK. So Polygon, via Polygon SDK, people can spawn their own sovereign chain, all the projects, because if we are focused on gaming, let's say, because games will require a lot of things, and when it comes to Web2 side, they don't care about decentralization, to be honest. So they want control for like how many validators they want to have and how to run the chain. So they'll have the entire control for a chain. They want to create how many chains they want, the projects can do it. So I think this is something like a lot of people are already, like we're speaking to a lot of Web2 gaming teams who are lacking it, and they want to test it out. They've already started testing. So this will be like a major breakthrough coming in, I think, the next few months.
Wow, that's great. I mean, I think gaming is definitely a hot topic, even in Korea. Just kind of elaborate more on like a little bit on the Korean side, but as you mentioned, like gaming is definitely blowing up. Everyone's asking about Axie, like what's happening with Axie, like what's the reason behind it? Like, and everyone asks me and the crypto. I'm sure like all the crypto people in Korea relate to this, but yeah, that's a huge excitement from all the gaming companies and also from the fashion brands, as you mentioned. A lot of local fashion brands have asked me to do an NFT, and they don't know where to go and what to do. So I think there's definitely like teaming with interest among like the major brands out there. So this is, yeah, thanks for explaining about Polygon Studios. This is great. So yeah, we did all the, we try to explain kind of what we do, and I'm sure, like I think Mike mentioned a little bit in the beginning, but there must be a lot of challenges when you're trying to do what you do right now, because as you mentioned, like user experience is one thing. I guess that's one of the major issues. But if you can kind of elaborate more on like the technical side, like what are some of the challenges that you face and are currently facing, and not only technical, but also just like in general, maybe it could be, I don't know, cultural as well, but just in general, just curious, like limitations, challenges that you guys face right now. Mike, do you want to go first?
Sure. Oh my God. I mean, there's so many. So like, I was talking about, removing gas fees. It's really interesting. The Cosmos SDK, doesn't actually want you to do that. And this isn't very unusual in blockchains. Like the concept of gas in general in these SDKs is deeply, deeply baked in. And most of the libraries that make requests to blockchains, actually what they do is they check whether your account exists before they'll make a request. You actually can't get most of these libraries to make an account creation request. Like they won't do it. because they'll check if the account exists before making any kind of request whatsoever. So we actually had to like hack our client libraries like at sort of like pretty deeply to be like, hey, for this particular request to the chain, don't check if the account exists yet, right? And just put a random number in the fee field, because like we're not gonna actually collect anything. But again, the parsers won't accept it if you don't put a gas fee in. So like the concept of gas fee is just deeply, deeply baked into the code, and trying to not charge one has been like surprisingly challenging, but you know, I mean, that's fun. Other stuff, you know, like the concept. So, you know, one of the things you're doing here, you're doing mobile apps, right? Which I deeply believe that like mobile is what we have to do. We have to do mobile games because like that's what people do. That's what like humans do, is they play mobile games. Like that's the way. And so to do that, you know, you're in this place of having to have people download 2 apps, at least initially, because you have to have an app that holds the key, and that can't be the game, right? You have to have a wallet that's holding the key to like transact on the chain. And maybe, you know, maybe Matt will say, well, that could be on the web, or like that could be somewhere else. But like, you know, what I found was that we had to build this concept. We had to build this whole system of inter-app communication around sort of like really smooth and easy transaction signing, so that you can go fight a goblin, and that the wallet would then send the goblin fighting transaction to the chain, get the response, send it back, like all of the like error handling around that. There's like a huge amount of work that went into building that. Those are just 2. There's a lot. Our like payment integration module was like a huge deal. Getting like payment currencies onto our chain by IBC, so you can just like use Atom to buy an NFT, and you don't need to buy, you know, if you want to buy something, you don't need to get like a Pylon specific currency. Like all of that stuff, a lot of really interesting technical challenges. So if that's an answer along the lines of what you're looking for.
Oh yeah, I think what I'm looking for was like the reality, because I think this is like the content that a lot of the other like non-crypto companies are looking to hear for. Like I think they really want to hear this, and they just want to see like what's out there, like what's, you know, not available, what's available. Just, you know, realistically, it's very important. The practical experience, that's what matters. So yeah, and you're in the forefront, so this is great. Vincent, yeah, can you share us your challenges with your technology? Yeah.
Well, for challenge, like in terms of technical challenges, I don't think there are too many technical challenges right now. But I'm sure, you know, in the future we'll definitely run into a few challenges, because right now on Kusama we can use palettes. So palettes are like tools that you can use to build a blockchain. And one of the palettes that we have is called a uniques palette. You could pretty much mine an NFT with relatively low cost, and the only thing you need is you know, Kusama tokens as a deposit, but those tokens will be returned to you later on. So the fees are not a lot. So in terms of technical challenges, we don't have too many technical challenges right now, but I'm sure in the future there might be some. And other challenges I want to talk about, maybe, you know, like evaluation challenges. So sometimes, you know, an NFT comes out, you know, we do not know the price of an NFT. You know, right now we're still in the, you know, sort of like price discovery stage. We don't really know like what's the maximum price it can, you know, an NFT can go. And it's just, I mean, there's so many different variables. You know, someone might just, you know, talk about it suddenly, and then, you know, the price of, or, you know, the tokens that required for that purchase might, you know, suddenly like increase a lot. So, and also legal challenges. I think everyone is still trying to define what an NFT is, because you know, you can ask like 100 people, they might give you like different answers, and it might take some time for, you know, the regulatory body to be formed before, you know, we can like truly define, you know, what an NFT is, and also uniqueness for NFTs. I mean, for NFTs that represent like real world items, and how do we make sure such NFTs are unique? You know, if we have like a body or entity being able to authenticate the relationship between NFTs and the real world items, you know, how do we have enough identity measures to make sure, you know, the entity is trustworthy? So I think these are some of the challenges that are currently in the market.
Yeah, Thanks for sharing. Like, I think that you touched upon like some of the other like general challenges that we all face, like regarding explaining NFTs and the regulation side. Yeah, even like, yeah, the Korean government is definitely suffering from that, defining and regulating NFTs. And yeah, this is a lot of the critical issues that a lot of like most people do like realize. And I think you're definitely gonna, yeah, definitely realizing this at the forefront. So yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Problem.
Matt. Yeah, Matt. I'm sure you're, yeah, you have a lot of experience as well. So can you share?
Yeah,
yeah.
We're focused on taking NFTs mainstream, and of course, with that comes a whole lot of user experience challenges. You know, like not a lot of people who are maybe, you know, super power users on Instagram or TikTok really understand, you know, what it is that they're purchasing or acquiring through a drop, or by being an influencer or participating in a contest on social media. So they don't really know how to differentiate literally these assets from a JPEG, right? So they don't really know what they're dealing with. So what we've done is we've kind of leaned on the Near wallet, and I mentioned that before. It's a web-based wallet. It's very easy to get started just with your email or an SMS. So you can basically just use your phone number or your email to get started. Now, obviously that's not like super secure, up to like, you know, hundreds or maybe even thousands of dollars, depending on, you know, who you are and how much that kind of means to you. But as I mentioned before, you can progressively move to higher levels of security. So you could actually wipe out your email as a method of logging into your wallet, and you can add a seed phrase, or you can not go with a seed phrase and add a ledger hardware wallet to secure your account. Same account, but now just new keys associated with those different methods of recovery or devices. So that, I think, is a really powerful model for kind of progressively walking users in. Like really at the beginning, we just want to get them in. Like we don't want to make them do, you know, 10 to 12 steps just to get started. We really just want to give them something. And then if that's something that they have should become valuable later on, or they should acquire much more value by participating in the network or community that we're building here, then we should secure those accounts, right? I think there's even like a red flashing thing or whatever that flashes at you in the Near wallet that tells you, you know, you have a lot of value and you're currently not that secure. So that's great. And then I think Mike mentioned something really interesting, like how do you get people to do stuff with NFTs? So one thing we're really bullish on with Satori is basically like high volume, but relatively low value, but high utility NFTs. So getting people to essentially play games with their NFTs to do things with them. So what's really annoying in crypto is keep going back and forth to your wallet, you know, to sign a transaction. So once again, you know, inside the Near protocol, like actually at the protocol, we have this thing called access keys. So I can approve an app, for example, to call a few specific methods of a smart contract with my account. I can give it an allowance of maybe, you know, 0.2 Near tokens to spend in gas. And then once I get back to the application, I can literally just go clicking away on, you know, like fight, defend, cast spell. And all of that doesn't require the application to go back to the wallet to sign again. It just basically is going to be calling the methods of the smart contract that it's allowed to call and spending down that gas allowance. When it runs out of gas to spend, it'll just kick you back to the wallet and say, look, you got to approve some more gas here so that we can continue playing. And I think that's a really powerful model, because you literally can go on to some Near apps and you can paint with pixels. Like you can like literally just click away, and those are basically doing these asynchronous transactions on the fly in the background without you approving each one. So I think we have all the scalability. We have some really good kind of solutions to to user experience. It's just now probably an education thing and it's a building thing. We got to get out there and we got to build some more amazing experiences like Shreyansh mentioned Axie. So I think we got to build we need about 100 more Axies and then we're going to be mainstream.
I think it's like, I think you mentioned a really good point, because I think like on Clubhouse, I remember like that when it was like booming up, I remember there were a lot of like people trying to help NFT artists trying to get on board. And like they were trying to just kind of like explain the platform, how to get the wallet, how to, you know, install everything one by one. And it was in a such detailed format. And they were like sharing PDF files like among each other, like just kind of like do step 1, step 2, are you done? And then we're going to move on. So it's like a tutoring service. And I just remember like, this is like evangelism. This is great. Like, and I think people like need to get a head start like with this kind of like a system. And this has worked tremendously well with the Korean NFT artists actually. So I totally agree with what you said. I think that education is definitely the next step. Very necessary, and we're in dire need of that. So yeah, thanks for mentioning that. And yeah, Shreyansh, can you explain more on your end?
Along the lines how Matt explained, I think wallet experience is something like we should like I want people to focus upon, because wallets are like the gateway for everyone to go get in, and if we like NFTs are Trojan horse for Web2, and the first step is the wallet experience, and people don't understand like managing their private keys, then switching networks, switching RPCs, and all the stuff, and it makes it tough. Like for them even to get started, you need a little bit of Matic or any other currency whenever you want to get started to pay the start paying gas. I think it's tough. Like they'll have to navigate. Then they have to go to an exchange proper, then manage their addresses and their ERC20s, whatever addresses they have, and filling those. So I think this is something we are working on. We want like this to be solved, like to get almost easy onboarding. This will be like the most frictionless onboarding. We are doing in some lines with meta transaction engines. So I think with meta transactions, you can just pay one-time relay fee to the network, and you can have like some few million transactions until the gas runs out. But I think meta transaction being one. And in terms of wallet, I would say when all these wallets, let's say all the major wallets were created, NFTs were not kept in mind. It was more catering towards to the ERC20, the trading tokens. So there's not I think Rainbow is there and maybe a few more, but none of these NFT wallets have seen like that sort of like MetaMask sort of mainstream adoption, where NFTs are showed properly and their design and how it can be presented to the users as well in terms of experience and everything. I think that is something I'm like, I want like, okay, maybe in a year's time, people have started working on that. So we can see some good experiences in the coming months. And another thing would be, I think, like building games on using Unreal Engine on blockchain. So I think it might take a lot of time, like building an entire game on Unreal and integrating NFTs, tokens, and play to earn models. Some teams have started working on that, but I think maybe it is 2-3 years away. But I think that will be something that will be groundbreaking for the gaming industry, like definitely for this Web3 gaming industry. And yeah. Like I think Unity is something people have already figured out. It's not that easy, but still with Unity, people are still trying to integrate NFTs and build games on blockchain. But with Unreal, I think it's gonna be very tough. And Metaverse will be on Unreal, I think.
Thank you. Sorry for interrupting, but yeah, thanks so much for mentioning that as well. Like these are some practical, I mean, like realistic challenges that a lot of these major platforms do face. And so I hope the audience can kind of learn from this in certain ways and kind of find, we definitely need to work together. This is for sure. And, you know, the whole I guess topic for this panel was like interoperability of NFTs. And, you know, we're all from, but we're all from different platforms, represent different platforms. But I mean, it's not like a divided game, right? I think we are here to coexist, and well, maybe some don't believe that, but I think we're here to kind of help each other and kind of, because this is a kind of growing the entire pie, right? And so I wonder what you guys think about the topic itself of, you know, the value that is created between, you know, interoperability and NFTs, because I think it's crucial, and among chains, like there should definitely be some type of collaboration or, you know, integration. But yeah, what do you guys think on that, Mike?
Yeah, I think in a lot, you know, one of the things you see on Twitter all the time, on crypto Twitter, is like, oh, like Web3 really belongs to its users, right? Like Web3 is not about like selling your data to Facebook. But, and but to really make that real, like that is an interoperability story. It's a story of like blockchains becoming a commodity product. It's a story of like what matters about an NFT is only the artist, right? It doesn't matter the technology, right? That's what it takes for, ownership to really belong to the users. And so, I'm really all about interoperability. The reason I chose Cosmos SDK is because, in 2016, the white paper was talking about inter-blockchain communication, and the protocol for IBC has been being worked on for 5 years, right? And so it really works. Like the inter-blockchain communication stuff and the interoperability inside Cosmos SDK totally works. It's running all the time. I move stuff between sovereign chains all the time to like swap tokens or whatever. It's like completely normal inside the Cosmos system. I had a really awesome conversation like 2 weeks ago with some of the leadership at Kadena about them building an IBC endpoint so that you could move stuff back and forth from Kadena. I think that's a great team. I've liked everyone I've met there, and I think they're going to be able to do that. And I'm really excited about that. So in general, I think like, yeah, we're going to see interoperability. I think that IBC is the way to do it. It's the most mature protocol for true interoperability between fast finality chains, and it's going to change everything. And being able to do RPC across this stuff and like activate functions on your NFTs from other chains, right? Being able to enforce royalties on items that you've moved between chains and pay that royalty back to the home chain. Like these kinds of things, these kinds of affordances are going to be what brings us from like a niche technology to a core technology of the future of fashion and art. So, I mean, I think interoperability, even though it's like no one, it's not top of mind for the people who are building NFTs right now, we're still building UX, we're still building product, but interoperability is just like completely on the roadmap. There's no way around it. We just like are going to do it, and I can't wait.
Yeah, it's inevitable trend, as we all say. But yeah, Vincent, what do you think about this topic?
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I agree with most of the points that Mike talked about, and in the future, and it's if we believe, at least in at Parity, we believe that there's not going to be one NFT that's going to rule. There's not going to be one token that's going to rule. We believe that different tokens or different NFTs will have different use cases that will benefit everyone else in the entire ecosystem. So I do believe that, and agree that different ecosystems and platforms can definitely coexist and support each other. So I think I can use Polkadot again as an example here. So Polkadot allows interoperability between different blockchains. So the Polkadot is a relay chain, and many different blockchains connected to Polkadot can interact, trade, and exchange with each other. And so when these NFT platforms connect to Polkadot's relay chain, let's say you have like two different NFT blockchains, these two NFT blockchains could exchange NFTs, or maybe like one NFT could be used in another blockchain's NFT. And I believe that interoperability is important if we all believe that metaverse is going to be something that's going to happen in the future. People are going to have different blockchains, or different brands and products are going to have NFTs, and it's only until we can find a way for all of these different brands or blockchains, they're able to maybe you're playing two different games. Maybe in this game you have like a superhero, and if you're able to use that superhero and use it in another maybe like fishing game blockchain, that's only when we can really truly realize like interoperability. And yeah, that's what I believe we can definitely all coexist and in the future.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thank you for the example. This was very I could totally relate to that. Yeah, thank you. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, couple of great thoughts there, Mike and Vincent. I think the market's really, really, really huge for NFTs. I think if we're just thinking that they're going to be high value artwork, kind of one-on-one things, that's just the beginning. Very, very much scratching the surface. That would be like saying that we are not going to buy like we're not going to buy food at several different restaurants and like eat food of various quality, like 5-star and all the way down to like McDonald's. It's like saying we're not going to buy sweatpants, we're all just going to buy like Dolce and Gabbana. Like saying that NFTs are going to only stay in fine art is crazy. So that being said, as we shop at many different stores today, and as we join various different loyalty programs, I mean, I'm in a hotel right now, right? Like, I mean, maybe I'm getting some points or something. Maybe I'm part of some airline program that I, flew over to Lisbon with. So the thinking there, I think, is that we're going to be multi-chain for quite some time. I think that there will be different ways to kind of like settle across chain. I mean, whether that's actually bridging the assets themselves, or whether it's just people looking for, liquidity in one place to move over to another place to participate in a completely different experience. Not sure how that's going to shape up, but I can say, like, on a technical standpoint, Near already has a rainbow bridge to Ethereum. We've moved lots of ERC20 tokens back and forth. There's a 721 connector to the Ethereum mainnet. We're interested in going out to many of the other EVM compatible chains. Looking at you, Polygon. I don't know, you're over there for me. So we're very interested in like kind of playing nice with everyone. We are WASM based, and we're heavily Rust based. So a lot of things that are required to do bridges and stuff, like pre-compiles, like Rust-based code that exists like with Parity technologies, a lot of that code is Rust-based as well. This just plays really nicely with Near, and like Near having this like native WASM runtime, it allows us to like integrate a lot of stuff and just run the necessary sort of like cross-chain kind of whatever you want to call them, provers or whatever, light clients, so we have an Ethereum light client that like runs already, or an EVM light client that runs already on Near to do the rainbow bridge. So we're interested in like continuing those conversations and talking. We also have a big grants program. There's tons of money available to help support teams that are working on this stuff. We're interested in kind of maybe pairing up those grants with other protocols grants and pushing this forward, and also just helping get more developers, smart people away from the Web 2 world and into the Web 3 world to help us build this stuff and make everything seamless. So if you guys want to reach out, if anybody wants to reach out and kind of figure out about those grants, you can check out grants.near.org. Or you can reach out to Cameron at near.org. Cameron, just how it sounds.
Wow, good
Here's
promotion
Cameron.
there. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, Near has been very active in NearCon. I was just looking at the live stream, and yeah, it's just like great content over there, and a lot of things go building on there, and the Rainbow Bridge, yeah, as well. That was very impressive how you guys pulled that off as well. But yeah, thank you for sharing all of your latest developments, also the grants information. Thanks for that. And yeah, Shreyansh, can you share your thoughts as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think the not one chain is gonna rule all. I think in the near future we are already like facing a lot of difficulties between cross-chain communication and stuff. I think when it comes to moving liquidity, I think lots of people are building lots of bridges and everything, and the user experience is still not that good, and the communication between chains when it comes to like Vincent gave the perfect example from, let's say there's a metaverse on the X chain, and then there's another VR space on Y space. So if I want to move my assets from this space to this space, it needs to be there. Like one day I'm partying in, one second I'm partying in Decentraland, and another moment I jump to Sandbox for something else to play a game. I think that sort of a communication, we are still in the exploring phase. We are just understanding what difficulties are. Maybe it will take a few more years, or maybe some months, or 4 or 5 years to solve this. But I think we are still in exploring stage. And it needs to be solved. It will be solved. We just have to wait.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. And yeah, I think we're in a very happy environment right now, a happy atmosphere. But I think with the last question, I would really love to hear what you guys have, waiting for next, because we're at almost the end of 2021, almost. And 2022 is going to be an exciting year. We're going to be more open than this year, and also I think a lot of things will be kind of booming up right now. So Love to hear what you guys are, what you guys have in the roadmap. Yeah, just you can shill away. Okay. But yeah, Mike, would you like to go first?
Yeah, roadmap. Well, we're sponsoring Hackathon that starts in a week.
Yay!
Really excited about that. I'm expecting to have beta versions of the wallet and SDK that I can actually give out to the public, tomorrow over the weekend, and we can start. We've got 2 big challenges with each one with a $50,000 prize pool. One is for building Flutter games on Pylons, and one is for building a ticketing system for to do event tickets on chain. So we're just really excited about basically having built all this, having built this chain, built this wallet, built this SDK, opening the doors up to the development community, right? With what we think is a pretty good spine of a system, and saying hey, what kind of limbs do you want to put on this creature, right? And see what happens. And this has been a huge journey for me. I've been dreaming about this day for a long time, for years. And so the ability to give this SDK to people, right? And say all right, here you go, build a blockchain game. Let's see it is just a huge thing for me right now. And so, yeah, that's the thing I'm completely focused on, hackatom.org, sign up and let's try to just have a complete change of character in what blockchain software is for people. Let's do this, and hopefully in a month it's just a completely different world in terms of what people can do with digital goods.
Wow, thanks so much. Hackathon, this one is the largest one so far, just FYI. I hosted the last one, the previous one in Ho Chi Minh City. But yeah, this is very exciting. I'm very excited to meet you in person very soon. But yeah.
I think last Hackathon, the total prizes was $50,000. This Hackathon, each gold prize is $50,000, and the total prize pool is $1 million. Wow. So it's a pretty big deal. Hackatom.org, come out, join the cosmonauts. Let's go.
Let's go. Korean fellows, 항상 지원해주세요. Thank you so much. Vincent, it's your turn.
Yeah, so actually there are so many exciting things going on at Parity. I'm going to choose, talk about a few of them. So I believe that, if for ecosystems, especially NFT ecosystems, if you need good ecosystem growth, it requires 3 things. The first one is good IP, the second is a good marketplace, and the third is a good technology. We'd like to think that we have good tech. We have a lot of research with our technology, and we have a really strong team that does the entire codes the entire thing. So right now we want to focus more on onboarding more marketplaces and IP. And so something interesting that's going to happen soon, I'm sure most of you have already heard about it, is the parachain auctions. So it's coming really soon for Polkadot, and we have been doing that on Kusama, has been going super well, and it's going to happen really soon on Polkadot. And so that's something that everyone's looking forward to. And we believe that after the first, parachain auctions happened, and there's going to be a lot more we're going to onboard a lot more teams. And so that's something that's interesting. And we're planning right now. We want to focus more on onboarding more teams on. So more teams can build on Substrate and build on Polkadot or on Kusama. And we have something called the Substrate Builders Program. So Substrate, I mentioned before, it's like a framework. It allows blockchain companies, or projects to pretty much build a blockchain in minutes using, bits and pieces and tools. So it's like an example would be, you're pretty much building a blockchain with Lego blocks that's already, made into a certain shape. So, when you're going to build a blockchain, you don't have to start from, piece by piece. You're pretty much taking this big shape, this shape, choosing from different palettes. It really depends on what you want to make. So earlier I mentioned there's something called a uniques palette. It's something for NFTs. So, if it's an NFT blockchain, then you have to take that piece and put it in your blockchain. So yeah, we have a lot of different palettes. Feel free to check it out on, our websites. And we also have this Substrate Builders program. So we're actually, we're trying to find teams who want to build a Substrate and Polkadot, who have great ideas, teams that want to, improve the entire ecosystem and build, further improve the Web3 vision. So we have this program will, if you're interested in, if you have a project, you can come speak to us, and there we can provide a lot of guidance and help you out with your projects. And at the end of the program, there's some sort of like a financial assistance for your project. So that's what we're focusing on. Yeah, everything looks pretty well for next year, and I'm pretty excited for what's going to happen next year. Everyone at Parity. Yeah.
Thank you. Another
Thanks.
FYI, but Parity, Polkadot recently had a Polkadot Korea meetup. It was online though, but I was panelist actually.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So Obi was there. Yeah. He mentioned
exactly.
That to me. Yeah.
Yeah, and I hope that we can have a offline meetup as well in Korea. And for all of you, really,
looking
really
forward to do that. I mean, when hopefully the quarantine situation is better in Hong Kong, then I can just like fly everywhere to attend these conferences.
I know. Yeah, I really want to invite all of you, but I really do. But we all hope for that in 2022. 2022. Wow, 222. Thanks, Vincent. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, Matt, what's happening for you, Satori, in 2022?
Well, we just got started, really, actually. So we didn't really officially spin out until like September. So, but we've been working on things from maybe about August. One thing that's really exciting is we just kind of wrapped like a V1 kind of invite-only version of our minting API called Spearmint. So I mentioned before, it's just a Web2 API. It's like super easy to just register, get an API token, create like an NFT series, or some people call them like open edition, and just like literally just rip out like tens of thousands of links and start sending them to people, and they can claim these NFTs. And optionally, they can set up a Near wallet if they don't already have one. So I'm very excited about that. I think it's really cool. The way we've built it on the Web2 side means that it's basically globally available from day one. It's entirely like serverless. So everyone's experience with that should be very fast and clean and robust. Like it's, basically it's not gonna crash at some point, which is cool because, when you're building on top of blockchain, which is, basically a globally available network in and of itself, if you're going to build a Web2 layer on top of that, it's got to be strong and resilient. So I'm very excited about that. On the actual kind of business side, we're signing deals with businesses and creators right now in the neighborhood of like millions of NFTs. So that's basically deals where you'll probably see them launch either by maybe the end of the year or first thing Q1. So we'll be, I don't know, I don't have a better explanation other than ripping out links, ripping out links to claim NFTs. I'm just really excited about that. I'm really excited to expand the space. Our focus is basically on helping creators and artists and brands just mint NFTs now, but really like our Act 2, which I can talk more about maybe when you invite me back, is about helping those NFTs turn into basically community management. So basically involvement with potentially dropping like a community token and setting up a DAO. And we have a lot of interesting kind of projects going on in Near that will be basically expanding our Web2 API and helping those creators and brands administer additional kind of layers of community management and functionality on chain. So it's a really exciting time. It's a great time to basically just get NFTs out there into the hands of people and get them excited about owning a piece of the community, and then building further and further utility into those communities. So I'm just really excited about what we're up to, and looking forward to the next couple of quarters.
Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, I'm also looking forward to reconnecting in a year and just kind of coming back to Busan, like IRL, and all of us sharing what we have built over the past year. So I really hope for that conversation to happen in person. So rooting for the project and for the ecosystem. And last but not least, Shreyansh, can you talk about Polygon Studios milestones, exciting things coming forward?
So I think there are just a few minor things. I think one would be we are launching one big initiative around Metaverse, which will go live somewhere around late December, early January. So I think everyone is talking about Metaverse, and Polygon has pretty much always been the home for Metaverse. I think any project you see, pick let's say Decentraland, Sandbox, Somnium Space, and some others. I think there are a few others as well. So everyone pretty much opts for Polygon because it's like creating an open metaverse, so you need compatibility. So I think in that sense, now everyone is talking about metaverse. I think the meta is the coolest word now. So in that sense, we are launching a pretty big initiative there, and also on something on creator economy side as well. So how to drive creators and get them onboarded onto this Web3 economy, because removing that sort of mental baggage and getting them on board on this NFT bandwagon. And the rollout of Polygon SDK that can specifically for gaming.
Great. Yeah, thanks so much. Thank you. Gaming is gonna blow up in 2022. That's for sure. So looking forward to more developments in the ecosystem. So yeah, thank you so much for participating in this panel. I don't know about you guys, but I really enjoyed it. And getting together, and this has truly been a meaningful experience for me, and also for the Korean viewers. And these platforms and ecosystems, and the builders, these builders, they have true love for the Korean community as well. So I highly encourage the Korean community members to try them out, like see what they offer. As Matt said, just go into it. Like you have to own stuff to actually do something with it. So I think really, for me, like I own a couple of NFTs, and I think I have true passion for it, because I think one of the reasons is because I own some of it and I know like what they enable and what the value it has. So I highly encourage people to just like jump in and just try them out first. And also the diversity of these platforms, the tool sets is really outstanding. So yeah, and let's give them love. And you guys, most Koreans have true love for you guys as well. So yeah, thanks so much for joining. And next year, as I said, I invite you to Busan and also to Korea to have another follow-up conversation. So thanks so much, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was great.
Thank you so much.
It was great being here. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Erica.
Non-fungible part?
Thank you.
Let's say this moment now is the non-fungible part. Yep. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Erica, so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was so crazy to meet you all, and it's a good night here, and we'll see you in the day 2. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Erica.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bye.
수고하셨습니다, 누나. 네, 이렇게 오늘 데이 1 세션이 다 끝났는데요. 오프라인부터 온라인까지 정말 12시간이 걸리는 시간이었습니다. 네, 이따가죠. 또 바로 다음날 데이 2가 시작될 예정입니다. 데이 2도 오프라인과 온라인이 진행될 예정이니 저희 트위터와 웹사이트, 유튜브, 브이스타 통해서 공지를 받아주시면 좋겠습니다. 그러면 오늘은 안녕, 여기까지 하겠습니다. 감사합니다.